Okay, it's Sunday again. Long overdue game, in fact, been a while. We've got 2,400 points. It's Size Warriors of Chaos versus my Dark Elves. We're playing Watchtower. That's right, we've been rolling missions lately, and it's it's a new thing for us. We used to, and then we just got bored of them and just did loads of battle lines. But we're going to try it. Unfortunately, it's probably the worst time to do a Watchtower as that monstrosity over there. So I'll let him make the excuses for in a minute. But it's pretty scary. So, running through the Dark Elves. And also I won the roll, so I started deploying first. So I think it's like guaranteed the first turn. I didn't have a unit big enough to go in the Watchtower either. So I have a Charybdis. 5 Dark Riders, 9 Doomfire Warlocks, so you can actually see like 3 of them at the front are actually Doomfire Warlocks. I do have the models, just really pain in the arse to assemble. There's a lot of mould lines on them, so I've only got 3 assembled so far, hence why the Dark Riders don't actually have any torsos. So we have a Bolt Thrower, not my general, but a level 4 of Dark Magic on a Dark Steed. We have 32 Witch Elves and the Cauldron of Blood with my Death Hag BSB. We have the Master on a Pegasus, who is my general. He's got a lot of goodies. Another Bolt Thrower, 27 Black Guard, full command, and 5 more Dark Riders. And for spells, obviously the Warlocks have Soul Blight and Doombolt, and my level 4 has Doombolt, Anzapul's Black Horror, Word of Pain and Power of Darkness. So that's it. Let's hand you over to Si, see what he's got. Well, we know what half of his army is.
Okay, yeah. After quite a break, with Ollie going to Warhammer World and me going to a wedding, I've recovered enough to have my wits about me and get a game in. So bit of a different list from last time, so I'll run you through it. It is fairly similar though. I have 5 dogs, I have a chariot, I have 5 Chaos Knights, I have a Chimera, I have a War Shrine, there you go, I actually assembled a model. I have, as Ollie puts it, this monstrosity, which is 36 Khorne Chaos Warriors with halberds, and a level 4 sorcerer with the Lord of Shadow. He has Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, the Enfeebling Foe, Occam's Mindrazor, Pit of Shades, and the Withering. Sort of really, Occam's and Pit of Shades is not particularly as useful in this context as it would be, but if anything, just Pit of Shades with after a Melkoth's might be a bit of profit, but yeah, we'll have to see about that. And then we've got 4 Skull Crushers with an Exalted Hero. As you can see, he has donked Abaddon the Despoiler on the head and nicked his sword. Then I have 5 Marauder Horsemen, and then another 5 Chaos Hounds. And as you can hear in the background, there is another Chaos Hound downstairs whining and complaining that we've left him on his own for the game. Okay, it's the end of Warriors Chaos, turn 1. Basically everyone moved up, like this, as there were no charges. Then in the magic phase, I got 10 dice to Ollie's 5. I cast large Melkoths on the unit of Blackguard over there, and that reduced everything by 3. Then I tried to pit shades them, but it scattered off target. Then in the shooting phase, I tried shooting at the Dark Riders, but yeah, unfortunately, hit once, wounded, but he passed his arm save. And that was it. So yeah, it is the end of. I should glossed over this. In my magic phase, I actually miscast and dimensionally cascaded. Saved my wizard though. He didn't take a wound, although I did lose 5 Chaos Warriors. So yeah. So it's now time for Dark Elves turn 1.
Okay, so it's the end of Dark Elves turn 1. Did some moving. Some of it I wasn't overly happy with. Anyway, so started off, charged those guys into the dogs, he held. These guys into the dogs, he held. These into the marauders, who fled. I failed to catch them. Other movement, I moved my bunker unit with my level 4 over to here, which is the thing I'm not overly happy with. Bit stupid. The Witch Elves moved up, as did the Master, who was also my general. These guys only moved forward a little bit, and obviously the bolts were stay where they were. Then in the magic phase, I managed to get off a Word of Pain, the big one, which reduced their strength, initiative, and weapon skill by 3, which is excellent. So I failed to dispel it by 1. Then I cast a Doombolt on him, but he made all his armour saves, getting about 7 hits. That was it for the magic. And then in the shooting phase, my bolt thrower managed to shoot off one of them, which was excellent, doing 3 wounds. And this guy did 3 wounds to the Chimera, which was a miracle. So yeah, so these, after the last game where they did nothing, they've decided they're firing on all cylinders now. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, like I said, a mistake here though. I had to reform these like this after I beat the dogs, just so if he did charge them, hopefully he won't get enough overrun to get into the bunker unit, which is a bit stupid on my part. And then over here I butchered the dogs and they fled and I caught them. So like I say, this guy didn't catch those. So that was it. So yeah, not bad. Pretty good. Some bad movement, which is ironic because I took this bunker unit because it's really manoeuvrable, and I still get it in harm's way, and possibly the worst harm you could imagine. So yeah, so I was probably going to dirty touch those next turn. We'll see you at the end of Chaos turn 2.
Yeah, that's the end of a really terrible turn for Chaos, turn 2. Charges wise, I kind of had to charge the Skull Crushers into the Witch Elves. I was hoping for a bit better scenario than actually what happened. The magic phase was null and void. Ollie channeled like a bitch. So he ended up with basically almost, he got like 8 dispel dice versus my 9.
That's the most channels I've got like the last 10 games.
I think it is, yeah. It's just in
like every phase.
Yeah, I did, yeah. So I can't really complain about that. So he's earned his channels, but unfortunately he had a good use of a scroll and dispel.
Yeah, I'm glad I did that.
When he did, because I had the ability to nerf his Witch Elves and take down their initiatives and take down their toughness and essentially mean that these guys are still hitting on the same kind of regime. However, yeah, like I say, judicious use of everything kind of prevented me from doing that. And that Word of Pain really made me suffer. I lost my champion. I just lost one guy in deaths, which isn't too bad considering. The wound on the BSB, but obviously because they broke the BSB, I mean, it was mainly because we kind of changed it a little bit in rows. I hadn't originally taken the BSB, but that kind of would have screwed me over earlier on, so we agreed to.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Helm of Many Eyes. Stupidity, you lose your 8 without a reroll. It's kind of like asking for trouble. Yeah,
I think next time probably drop that BSB and then have the Exalted Hero in the Skull Crushers. But yeah, anyway, that was pretty nasty. I mean, Word of Pain really did it. It was awesome, and like failing to dispel by 1 and rolling 5 dice. I rolled like 3 1s in that. It was brutal.
So you should have a Skull Crusher BSB. Even more nasty.
Yeah, and it's.
And you can make the other one the general. And that way, if he blows up, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, so that was pretty hideous. That was the only close combat. Shooting over there was sort of null and void. The dog ran off the board, and then everyone else just sort of moved up. Really, I occupied the watchtower, so I kind of am still ahead, but it's now sort of it's now a bit kind of skew whiff as to sort of what's happening. So yeah, a bit disappointed with that. So now I've got to go for well, I've got to survive Dark Elf turn 2.
Okay, so it's the end of Dark Elves turn 2, and it was pretty good, really. So I charged the Dark Riders into Skull Crushers. They're weird conga line, just make them run a bit further. I charged... That was all I charged, actually. Oh no, I charged the Black Guard into the Knights, but I failed it. And then other movement, the Cryptus moved up, these guys moved up, these guys reformed to face the tower. These guys actually completed the charge and actually caught the Skull Crushers and wiped them out, which was absolutely brilliant, really happy with that. This guy's passed the march test, moved around here, just to be annoying. He moved up here. Then in the magic phase, roll 3 to size 2, and I cast a Doom Bolt at the Manticore, which failed to dispel, and I managed to knock the last wound off of it, so it died. This passed its panic test. Sorry about that. Right, so the in the shooting phase, this bolt thrower drilled the fast cav, killed 4 of them, and they fled off the board. And this one killed a knight, so these things are on fire today. That's what happens when you stick them on a base. 40k base, so that's probably why.
So I'm telling you, if you were proxying them with Dark Elf fast cavalry, they'd be even worse.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I should use Reavers. Yeah, those bolt throwers you had like murdered those witch elves in the first game we played. Oh, that was horrible. Yeah, and then there was no close combat, so that was it. So the end of Dark Elves turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Warriors Chaos turn 3. It's not going quite according to plan. We basically
We're surrounded.
yeah, I literally am surrounded. Yeah, it's basically devolved down into a sort of original Watchtower scenario, as basically less than half the game is finished and I have lost. As I've taken 1,400 victory points worth of casualties for holding only 1,000, and I'm about to lose more. So yeah, essentially. What has happened is I had to try and get charge and try and get some points if I was going to win. So the only way was going to be to basically try and beat down that unit of Black Guard. Unfortunately, the Knights were well up for it, but this chariot was just oh so tired, having done nothing the game. So yeah, all them horses are tired. You get me plastic when assembled. So yeah, unfortunately the chariot didn't make it in. I rolled 3 2s on the roll. I just needed one of them to be a 3, and that would have been fine. But yeah, I failed the charge there, and the Knights just got cut to ribbons. Yeah, the eternal hatred on those guys is nasty. So yeah, getting pretty heftily chopped. And I obviously couldn't get any debuffs on them in the magic phase, as I would have liked to have nerfed their strength, but Ollie dispelled it. So yeah, I was kind of a bit beggared, really. Then let's have a look. I moved up the. I basically moved up the War Shrine as a redirector onto this unit, just to try and stop the Witch Elves for another turn, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I mean, I have a chance of winning the Watchtower scenario as it stands, even though it is a bit of a lame win because I've just stuck a ton of guys in the unit in the thing, and I'll be sort of stubborn and that. But yeah, it's a bit, unfortunately a bit sucky. But
so it's only stubborn 8 with no reroll. So
yeah, that's it. So it's still iffy.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are looking a bit grim at the moment. So yeah, what's going to happen now in Dark Elf turn 3?
Okay, size is going down like any good Khorne warriors should. Surrounded and outnumbered. Right, so this turn I chose the Witch Elves into the War Shrine, the Black Guard into the tower, moved up these Dark Riders, just to take some lucky shots of that, moved him up to see what happens to it, when we can charge him. The Bolt Throwers just stayed there, Crook just moved up, these guys just moved around there for something to do, more for the visual effect of being surrounding the tower. Then in the magic phase I managed to get, oh that's a good point actually, you had Word of Pain on you, didn't you? So you would have been hitting, winning on 3s instead of 2s.
Yeah, I didn't roll that many 2 though. I rolled enough to.
Fair enough. Yeah, so I cast Word of Pain on these guys, which reduced their weapon skill and strength by 1. I cast Soul Blight on the War Shrine, just because I know how bloody annoying it is to kill, so I wanted to get rid of it quickly, so I could then free up the Witch Elves to charge in next turn. The shooting phase, I fired bolt throwers at that, did nothing. One fell to hit, one fell to wound. And then in close combat here, Black Guard went in, managed to kill 10 guys exactly, and then in return he killed 10 of mine. So yeah, it was pretty bloody. He lost the combat because I charged, but held. So heading into Warriors of Chaos turn, was it 4? 4. Okay, it's the end of game turn, was it 4?
4, yeah.
4, okay. End of game turn 4. It was, yeah, sorry, it was, yeah. So, in Sai's turn, all he did was cast
Miasma
yeah.
on the Witch Elves, which you dispelled.
Yeah, I dispelled the miasma.
And then I 6-diced.
Yeah, reduced their strength by 1.
1.
Yeah. And got a miscast.
Killed 3 guys.
Killed 3 guys, yeah. And that was it for his turn. Oh, we
Oh,
charged
failed,
the chariot,
yeah.
failed. Then in my turn, I charged the master into there. Charged the witch elves into there. Everything else just moved around to make it look pretty. And then that was it. Then in the magic phase, I attempted to cast Word of Pain, which he obviously dispelled. And then I cast Power of Darkness on these girls to give them +1 strength. Then I attempted to cast Soul Blight, which I failed to cast. So then there was no shooting. In close combat, I managed to kill the chariot. So the Cloak of Twilight did it 5 wounds, which was really nice. And then in this combat, obviously I went first. I killed 10 guys. And then in return, he killed 6. So obviously I've got the ward save. That's pretty nice. But he's still held in there, even though he lost combat. When he's stubborn 8 with no reroll. So he's got 9 warriors left and he's wizard. And I've got to get him out there in the next 2 turns, otherwise I'm going to lose. So heading over to, well, we'll do game turn because Sai's turns are going to be pretty short, just casting a spell. So heading over to game turn 5. Okay, so the end of game turn 5, game's over now. But Sai didn't actually get tabled in the end. I charged the Black Guard in. So you just move these around like that, so it looks pretty. Then in the magic phase, I threw 6 dice at Power of Darkness to give these guys +1 strength. And I obviously got it through, and then the 2 dice I got back from that, I cast Soul Blight on them as well. So I went in, and I went first obviously, and I butchered the last 8 Chaos Warriors, and I also assigned some attacks to his general. I think about 6 guys.
That's a wound in the end.
Yeah, I did a wound to him because he had a 1-up armour, 4-up ward, which translated to a 4-up, 4-up. But then he did break, so he pegged it. So I got the tower. The general's running away, which is the only thing in his army that isn't Khorne. Yeah, so he doesn't get tabled. There's no way I can catch him because all my units are facing weird directions. So we're not even going to bother doing turn 6. And I've won. So there's no way he's going to take it back with that one, was it? I'd like to see him try. So
all I've got is to Leroy it into the centre and then miscast. Ah!
Yeah. So we're going to order in an Indian, and then we're going to have a little lamentation. So, but yeah, good game. Happy that, well, it was pretty successful, to be honest. But we'll go into that in a minute. Indian first.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy there. I thought I had a fairly decent army, a big block of Chaos Warriors, plenty of nasty, hard-hitting cavalry. Be able to get in his face fast, smash him up. I thought I had a chance to do fairly well. The trouble is though, this scenario really kind of buggered me up. In that I just unfortunately ended up losing the majority of my RV unit at a time, with sort of very little, suffering very little casualties, and then that was the big crux of it, because I wasn't able to draw enough of a bead on him to do any damage, and really, I killed. I killed 10 of these guys when they assaulted the tower, Black Guard, and that was it really. There was nothing else. So yeah, it was a bit sore. It was quite a hard loss. But it was good. It kind of shows what playing different scenarios really does for the course of the game. We played Battle Line, I think, a bit too much. Yeah. In this scenario, I think Battle Line, this army would have done very well. It would have been mobile, hard hitting, able to put out a sickening amount of damage. But that's kind of always the issue I get, is that in this scenario it just didn't play out, because I obviously had to hold the tower with the Chaos Warriors. But that makes the game interesting. I think the biggest problem for me was was failing to dispel by one that first word of pain.
Yeah,
on the Skull Crushers.
Word of pain was pivotal, really.
Yeah,
although to be fair, I think you made a bit of a mistake. I think you would have been better off charging the Dark Riders than going for the overrun. I know you probably would have got charged in the rear, but I don't know, actually. Yeah.
I really don't, because at strength 2 I just didn't have, and I would have only been getting a very, very limited number of attacks. I wouldn't have had I don't think I would have had the...
Or just moved up in front of the Witch Elves, but not actually charged them. Because then by the time it was their turn, that would have fell off.
Yeah, that's a good point. Obviously I didn't make the frenzy test for that, but assuming that passed and I did have the BSB there, that would have... Right, yeah.
So I think that maybe that... Yeah, because I was no fit state to charge with the flank with those a bunker, because that's going to do nothing. So yeah, that probably would have been a better move. Yeah,
but I really like Ollie's movement, having his wizard running around in a super fast bunker. I think that works best for elves, definitely, and dark elves do it so well. As the bunker that Ollie has put them in the warlocks is excellent. They're so fast moving.
Yeah, they've got this is the 4-up ward, but she's also got the Ring of Hotech, so they've got 2-up ward against magic missiles, and they're so manoeuvrable. And plus the Vanguard as well, you can get in range with the dark magic spells turn 1, and its range is never a problem, and you can keep it pretty safe. Yeah. Those warlocks are pretty cheap, really. They're 225 points. If I took like 20 Corsairs as a bunker, that'd be more points than that. And they're pretty static.
Yeah, that's a really, really nice bunker.
And to be fair, they can put out some decent amount of attack should I get something get in my way, something small, I can take it out. They're like strength 4 with 2 attacks each, so they can defend themselves at a push.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm pretty happy with that unit. I'm certainly going to use it again.
Yeah, I kind of, if I hadn't have got Word of Pain, if Ollie hadn't a Word of Pain in me, one thing I had considered was I could have got my Exalted Hero out of the unit and into them. That might have been interesting, but obviously the Word of Pain just shut me down. There was no point because it was just too much of a loss.
There's also the risk of if I challenge you, well, you challenge me and I accept the champion, then I've got static combaters on my side as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is like a banner, BSB, and 3 ranks. So if you just kill me with your...
You didn't have BSB in there, but...
Well, in this unit?
No, in this unit.
Oh.
I had the... I could have charged, but there was no point because he was like, strength 3 and... just wasn't going to be able to put out the damaging effects.
That unit's got no static combaters other than a rank.
One rank, yeah.
Because they've got no command.
Yeah, so it's kind of that's just sort of the way it is, but that's what that spell's designed for. It's designed for shutting down those big, heavy elite units that are gonna cause you trouble. And it's just sort of the problem with Warriors Chaos is that they tend to have
you're paying a lot of points for that skill 5 and that strength 5. And as soon as it goes nerf with like we were saying earlier, Melkoffs.
Yeah.
Then it's bad times. So.
Yeah, and elves are a very good matchup for Chaos because their always strikes first gets around a lot of the problems that other opponents suffer. Because I can milk off the Black Guard till the cows come home, and all it's going to mean is that they don't get a reroll. But they do because they get eternal hatred. Yeah. So it's kind of I think they're the better choice versus the Executioners, because with the Executioners
I hate the Executioners now. After playing with the Black Guard, I think the concession with the Black Guard is they're really expensive, because you're not just paying 15 points a model, you also got to pay for Razor's standard to make them worthwhile. So you're paying like 120 points on top of an Executioner unit, but you're getting those extra attacks and almost guaranteed always guaranteed rerolls to hit.
Yep.
So you're putting out more hits. So really, as soon as you cast Power of Darkness on them, they're infinitely better than Executioners. So I'm all over them.
Yeah, because Power of Darkness, and all of a sudden they become like Power of Darkness.
And 3 to the armor.
Yeah,
a lot more attacks consistently hitting.
Yeah.
And plus they're initiative 6 as well, so...
So they are really good.
Just a hell of a lot more expensive.
Yeah. I mean...
The only downside to these I see over the Executioners is I have to give the Razor standard to them, and I can't give it to the Witch Elves. Which ordinarily on the Witch Elves it wouldn't really matter, because, the things I'm worried about are 1+ armor saves, so the Razor standard isn't going to make any difference. But it means that I could cast Power of Darkness on them and make them a real threat to heavy cav. So it's a concession having to put the Razor standard on these guys rather than keeping on those.
Yeah, but then you've got two heavy damage output units rather than just one and a bit.
Yeah, but
really.
They both need support, whereas the Executioners don't.
Yeah,
I still prefer the Black Guard.
But the Executioners, the way to that is, as we saw last game was
the times I've used them, they've done nothing.
Milk offs, and then all of a sudden
off their initiative, they just die.
Yeah, they just
they're like great swords.
They just become
armor.
Empire great swords.
Yeah, with worse armor.
That's it.
So Black Guard all the way. I'd rather kill things before they get to swing than hit them hard.
Yeah. So I think that's a good decision. So that was a pretty hefty loss for me. It's a bit disappointing, but it's kind of the nature of the scenario rather than the
it's just a shame for you that it was Watchtower, not Battle Line, because obviously if you had a Battle Line game, that unit would have been monstrous.
Yeah.
I may have killed loads of them, but you would have absolutely butchered me, guaranteed. So it's just a case of playing that list again, I think, or playing something similar. I'm certainly going to play this list again. I really like it, mainly because I spent 2 weeks assembling Dark Riders.
Witch Elves, by the looks of things.
Well, to be fair, those are the ones I've already assembled. Just throwing some Corsairs in the back.
He's cheating. I know, and there's me thinking they're all Witch Elves.
I've got the Witch Elves now, but...
You just need them all assembled.
I sold one to finance my trip to Warhammer World and pay some mortgage payments,
Yeah.
But you know, I've still got 29 left. Should be alright.
Yeah, it's been a good game. I'm liking the chaos stuff. I'll probably I'll have a fiddle around with the monocorn stuff a little bit more before I start thinking about other things. But
yeah, ditching the Chimera is probably a good move.
Yeah,
and just taking that BSB.
I mean, I really like the aesthetic of the Corn Army. I'm going to be enjoying painting them for a while, I think. So I'll work on that, and then we'll see what happens. And if we can rope our friend into some games, then we're going to be sorted. So with that, we will see you next week for another game. We have dinner to eat.